Hello, everyone. Thank you for stopping by my YouTube channel, Get Crafty with Sally. My name is Sally Poole, and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Albany, Oregon. Welcome. Today, I am going to show you how to make this really pretty card, and it is not stamped and colored, which might surprise you. I actually used the new washi tape that Stampin' Up! Has. It is part of, I shouldn't say it's part of this bundle. It goes with the Extraordinary Flora bundle. But for some reason, if you look it up online, you know how now they have the products that go together are linked on the same page screen. For some reason, the washi tape is not linked to these. They are just linked to each other, stamps and dies. They are in the new annual catalog, which I can finally open, on page 85. So you can buy either the stamps or the dies, or you can buy both of them together as a bundle and get 10% off. And then that's on page 84. The washi tape is on page 85, and you can see how the dies, hopefully you can see that, the dies cut those pretty images out of that washi tape. So I'll show you how this is done, or how I do it. But first, let's go through what we're going to need to make this card. Not a whole lot, pretty basic paper cuts. Got a base, a layer. This 4 by 5 1/4 piece is this white piece, and I've embossed it using the new, I'm not going to say it right, Damask Designs. I even looked it up on the internet to see how to pronounce it correctly, and I forgot already. And then I also have this 4 1/4 by 6 piece of basic white is to put the washi tape on, and I'll show you that in a minute. And then you need a scrap of Coastal Cabana, and that is for this background circle. And the circles are from the Spotlight on Nature dies. And I have used, let's see, the second to the largest on this one with the dashed lines on the largest circle, and then the third from the largest on this set. And I will put that in my PDF with the sizes on there. And then you'll also need just a scrap of basic white for the second circle and then the sentiment. So let's get started. You can either take a screenshot of this, or as always, I will have everything in a PDF, all the measurements and products that I used, linked below this video in the description box. So you can go open that, print it out, whatever you want to do with that. So let's grab I'm going to get my chair. And Stampin' Up! Has had washi tape before. I don't think they've had any recently. But they have not ever done something like this, that you could use it for something other than washi tape. Let me also mention, this will be in the PDF, I do have two 8-inch pieces of baker's twine, and it is the Silver and Pool Party. Even though this is Bermuda Bay, I think it matches with it well. And of course you can use whatever you want. You can use linen thread, you can use white baker's twine, whatever, ribbon, doesn't matter. So let's set some of these pieces aside, and we'll grab our 4 1/4 by 6, and that is not a has to be that size piece of paper. You can figure out what you want to do. I think the roll of washi tape is I don't even know, 3.5 inches maybe. But in order to get the chunk that you want straight, I would cut a bigger piece of paper just in case you start it out and it ends up going crooked, that you still have paper to put this on. Because it's probably not going to be that easy to cut in between the little images with scissors. Anyway, I'm going to unroll a little bit of this, and it is really sticky, and it is on this roll tightly. And I have learned not to try to line this bottom edge up perfectly. Try to just lay it down somewhere else and then go from there. And I'm going to use my bone folder, or I'm going to try my Petco gift card. So I just adhered just a piece of it that was laying down against this paper, and then I'm burnishing it with my gift card. And if you don't get it to lay down flat, you can actually pull it back up off the paper and it won't tear the paper. So that's kind of a nice thing. So you can unroll it to where the pattern ends on the die. So you'll be able to see exactly what piece you're going to need. So I'm going to take my little gift card again and rub out these little bubbles. Take my little snips, and you can see this is not going to be straight across here where I'm cutting. Hopefully you'll be able to see that. It is not straight across on there. So let's rub that back down. I will also mention that, and I think these colors are beautiful, there are 10 different colors in this washi tape. This was the beginning of my roll that I had to cut off because it didn't match the die. I'm not sure if there's even much that you can use. Well, there's a couple things you could cut out from there. So I did put it on paper, and I'll cut those out later. And then there are 2 different color schemes on the roll. They alternate. So there's this one, and then this one. This one's more of the strawberry splash. Strawberry splash, that doesn't sound right. Slush, strawberry slush. So anyway, I'm not sure how many of these you get out of a roll, but I'm sure there's quite a few. So then what you would do is just take your, and I should have cut one of these out ahead of time, and I didn't bring my die cut machine over here, but I can run across the room really quickly and cut that. So I'm just going to take some, and this is that Post-it note tape. I'm just going to lay my, didn't quite get the top of that right, lay this die down on here, and let me run over here really quickly and cut these out. I'll be right back. Okay, so now you can see those are all cut out. They're stuck to that paper. They're secure. They're thick. They're not flimsy. So let's take our die cut off. Pop all of our little pieces out. And for the card that I did, you can see that there's a lot of pieces. I really didn't use that many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So these are what I had left from that one little section. These are the strawberry slush ones. I'll show you that card in a minute. So here's all of our little pieces. And now we can grab our, I'm looking around at all this stuff I've got here because I don't want to forget to tell you anything. Let's see. So let's grab our card pieces. So I've already cut my circle out from my scrap of basic white. I've stamped my sentiment and cut it out. I've used the With Love. I stamped it in Coastal Cabana. It is from the Extraordinary Flora set. And I did emboss this little circle with the new, I think it's pretty cool. This is called Join Together. And it goes with the set that I don't have, and I can't think of the name of it. And let me see if I can find it really quick. Stamp sets. Of course not. It goes with the set that is the, I can't think of the name of it. I want to say kintsugi, the Japanese pottery craft, kintsugi. Here, there's a Japanese pottery craft. When they break pottery, they put it back together, and then in the cracked areas, they use gold leaf. So there's this beautiful set. It's actually a suite, and it has this embossing folder in it joined together. So take a look at that. I really like it, even though I don't have any of this other part of the suite. So there is our scrap of basic white pieces. Then I've got a scrap of Coastal Cabana, and that's what I cut the larger circle with. And then also a background layer for my little sentiment. So let's take our embossed piece of 4 by 5¼ inch basic white paper. I'm going to grab my green glue and put a good amount on the back. I like my embossed pieces to stay adhered to the piece behind them. So better safe than sorry. So let's line this up on our Coastal Cabana piece. Try to get all of our margins even. So what are you thinking about this washi tape? I think it's just a really great idea because that would have taken me forever to stamp those and color them. So now I'm going to grab my card base. I'm going to give that another little press. And I'm going to use my tape runner. And we'll adhere this to our card base. I'm going to get up and look because hopefully I am in the camera. So there's that. You want to, of course, make sure it's going to open on the right. Grab my chair again. So now let's take our little white embossed circle and we'll put some glue on the back of it and attach it to the Coastal Cabana circle. Did a lot of you get the Spotlight on Nature dies? I think that they're great to have even if you didn't get the stamp set. I don't think you need to have the entire bundle. Those circle dies are so beautiful. So now let's put some green glue on the back of our Coastal Cabana circle. And I am going to kind of try to center this. I might make it a little bit higher above center, but I'm going to try to center it on the sides equally. So it doesn't look like I got it higher above the center, but that's okay. So now you can just start playing around with your little pieces and just start laying them on here and see where you think you might like them, which ones you want to use. I am going to pop this one and this one up, the rose, and then I'm not sure what those flowers are. I'm going to put those on dimensionals, which I forgot to bring over here too. Good grief. But I can reach some, I think. So I've got that, and that. So I think, those are the ones that I used. So we'll scoot these off to the side here for a minute. I might have to dip back into those. Let me see if I can find some dimensionals. Don't need a whole lot. So I am going to first, I'm going to put a couple dimensionals on the back of this larger piece. I'm going to cut some of these little bottom piecey ones. I don't even think they're half a dimensional. And we'll peel our covers off the back and reveal the sticky. And I'm going to set that right about there on this card front. And then I'm going to, let's get a couple of big ones for the rose piece. Peel the covers off. And I'm going to set this one down here-ish. And I probably won't even get them the same every time. So before I glue this one down, I'm going to give it a little try and make sure it fits under there and it's not bumping into any of the dimensionals, because if it is, you can just cut part of the edge off that's going underneath. So we've got glue on there. We'll slide that right in there. And then this one, let's give it a test and see. I'm running right into a dimensional, so I'm going to cut that little stemmy end off. Give it another try. That'll work. Put some glue on there. I probably don't need my dimensionals anymore. Oops. So let's put that one right there. And then let's give this one a try and see if it'll go under there. Don't need to trim that one. So let's glue that one. What do you think of this? Are you liking this concept? Do you think it's something you'd be interested in trying? Do you hate it? I better check this first and see. It is not going to fit properly. So let's give that a little snip. Oh, and yesterday, when my Stampin' Up! Order got delivered, I opened up the box and found that I had ordered the new in color ink refills and pens, Stampin' blends. Anyway, when I opened up the box, there was Secret Sea ink and Strawberry Slush ink all over everything. It was such a mess. And I don't know if a machine puts the lids on those ink refills or if people do it, but those two, the lids were partially screwed on, but they weren't straight. So of course they were tipped over in there and there was just ink everywhere. And there were several packs of 12 by 12 paper in there, and the one that was on top with all of the other stuff on top of it, somehow that Secret Sea ink got in there underneath the plastic wrap that's around that paper, and it just totally soaked into that paper. What a mess. It took me forever to clean it up. There wasn't really a lot that was ruined other than that paper and, ink missing out of the bottles. But yeah, that was a pain. That was no fun. All right, we've got one little piece left. So let's put some glue on it. I'll bet there's just a ton of these panels in that roll. Be interested to know what's really in there. So I'm going to scoot that down in there. And you could also put, now I'm not going to be able to think of the name of it. Winkastella. You could put Winkastella on these flowers or whatever. That would be really pretty. So now let's take our little sentiment piece, and I cut it out with the rectangle stitched framelits with this smallest skinny one. Of course, I had to just cut part of it and then move the die down to the other end and cut the rest of it to get the stitched edge all the way around. I keep saying I'm going to make a video on doing that, just that, but I haven't done it yet. I have shown the process in some of my other videos. And let's adhere that to our little Coastal Cabana piece. And I cut it about a 1/16 of an inch bigger than the sentiment piece. Whoops. An 1/8 of an inch just seemed too big. So now I'm also going to glue this down. And I'll set it on here and see exactly where I want it to be. And I'll have to hold it up and see if it's straight. And then I'm also going to add some rhinestone basic jewels. I think just the silver looks really pretty with this. And I'm going to put one there and here and down. I think I've done it different every time. I'm going to put it in the middle of that flower. And then I'm going to take my two little pieces of twine and my little bow tying gadget, and I'll tie a bow really quick. I am no good at tying them by hand. I guess I should practice more. And you can buy these little gadgets on Etsy. They're just nothing, little pieces of wood and a couple dowels. And I think they're still on Amazon. Or you could have somebody make one for you, or if you're crafty with wood at all, you could make your own. So I've got my two little bows, but they're made into one. And I like to glue my bows down. A lot of people use glue dots, so I usually put glue right on the back of the knot. I'm going to set my bow on there, and then I always just grab an acrylic block and set that on there and let it dry. So as soon as that has dried, I will cut part of the ribbon tails off. I think that I've told you pretty much everything I've used here. So let's scoot that out of the way and get our original Coastal Cabana sample. And then That's the one that we just made. And then I've also got one with, and I'm calling it Strawberry Slush Panel, but it does have a lot of different colors in it. So there's that one too. I did use the same pieces. I pretty much made it the same as this card, except I used linen thread on there, which I really like as well. So those are my card for the day. Like I said, let me know what you think about this tape. And if you think that you're going to get it and give this a try, I don't know if people are just looking at it in the catalog and going, oh, more washi tape. Although it does have the little die cut in there that shows that you can cut those out of this. So anyway, let me know what you think. And if you're getting anything out of my channel, it would be fabulous if you would hit the like button, share my video with your friends and family, and if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, I would appreciate it if you would do so. It helps my channel grow. I appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by again, and I hope you have a wonderful day today, and happy Mother's Day tomorrow to all of you out there that are mothers and have raised or are raising children. I will see you next time. Bye.